start recording.
Uh-oh.
All right, so now we are start recording. We'll let it run for a minute just to make sure that it actually starts recording, because it has a bad habit of not doing that because it sucks.
Does that mean we can no longer say shirt? Oh, see, I can't. Look at that.
Apparently, you have to say shirt.
Started. No, I was trying to say the other one, but it came out shirt.
Like polo?
Yeah.
No. You were trying to say pants? I'm so confused.
Look, these network edits are weird.
I was trying to make a Good Place reference, but I don't think either of you watch it.
True.
Yeah, no. It's on my list of things to watch eventually, but...
Yeah, I've seen the first
quite a list.
3 seasons because that's all that was on Netflix, but it was really good.
Well, you can theoretically finish it soon.
Yeah. Just as soon as the rest of it comes to a streaming service I have, I'm going to.
I didn't go get that bug on the wall. Damn it.
Yeah, it lives there, man. We've been over this.
Not for long, it doesn't. I don't know what these little bastard things are. I think they're... I looked it up once. I can't remember what they are.
Bugs.
Well, now it's dead.
But at what cost?
Rock. I am the
Rock? An island?
the victim.
The hunter?
The hunter, yes. I am the great, extremely white hunter. Look at that. Isn't that terrifying? Glows in the dark.
Yeah, what you can't tell people watching at home is that his room is only lit by his monitor. The rest of it's just him diffusing it. He's like a human bounce card.
See what I have to put up with, chat?
Yeah, you choose to put up with it.
Yeah, you
got other
invited us
friends
here,
to the
buddy.
podcast. You don't need us.
Hey, when did we start this call?
Far too long ago.
A little after 8:30 was when the original call started.
Okay, because I didn't get on the clock. I've been bad about not getting on the clock lately.
Because time is meaningless now.
It pretty much is, yeah.
I mean, maybe for some people. For me, nothing's changed. So,
Well, that reminds me. I'm gonna read a thing to you. Hold on. Gotta go find a thing. There's a thing. It's on my phone.
does it
Stand
involve
by.
Wickenburg?
No, that's a total loss.
Okay, good.
So there's a local radio station here in the Greater Lansing area called Mike FM. It's on 101.7, and I recommend it. It's got a pretty good mix of music from about the time I was in high school through now, and so it's pretty good. So as near as I can tell, whoever runs programming is my age. Anyway, my wife had to go to sports med today for a follow-up appointment because she had messed up her knee earlier in the year, and they had canceled all the appointments, but they're finally getting around to rescheduling and getting some people in. So she had to go do that. So she was in the car listening to Mike FM, and she texted me when she got to her appointment, and she said, between a song break on 101.7, they said they broke in to give a little station identification. Mike FM, the perfect soundtrack for whatever day this is. Yeah, we're not keeping track either.
Nice.
So there you go.
Nah.
Hey, what's the set that just came out?
Ikoria.
What did I name?
Yeah,
this?
Ikoria, not Ikoria. Yeah, that's right, Ikoria.
Ikoria sounds more like Ikaruga, so I'm going with it.
No, if you want the accompanying stuff is in the odds and ends. You get the things now, you get the stuff later.
Okay, there we go. I changed the background so it's Godzilla now.
Oh no. There goes Tokyo.
Well, there we go. Okay.
Is it Planet Tokyo?
I hope Planet Tokyo is fine.
It's a puffy, yummy song.
Anyway, right, now that the recording's been going for 4.5 minutes, I'm sure it started. Let's get to it.
Perhaps.
Aha!
Ow, jam! Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode of Monday Night Magic here on twitch.tv/themanapool. It is late as hell.
And we're not going to take it anymore.
Yeah, it kind of is.
No, we're gonna continue taking it. Hopefully
okay.
until November. So,
We're not fighters.
this is Monday Night Magic number 688. Squee assures me that that's right.
That's what the internet said.
It's not that I don't
Trusting
trust
the
Squee,
internet.
but I don't trust. Okay, yeah, 688. Awesome.
Huh. How did I not notice that?
Not notice what?
It's 420.
Because you haven't been on any part of the internet today?
Yeah, well, I was on the internet some today, but I was trying to get some work done, so I was trying to ignore most of the internet, and I apparently did a good job of ignoring most of the internet because I didn't see a tweet about it even until just now.
It's my laser eyes birthday. Pew pew.
They've been all over the place today.
Huh.
I saw a really good one from Animal Crossing that said something about a pot being the featured item, and I almost died.
I appreciated the Domino's ad where they were selling pizzas for $4.20, and we all knew why.
Okay. This whole month, it turns out, is $4.20.
Yep.
Which Stark just said, yeah. All right. Anyway, I don't know why Cluze decided to throw that out there, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just happened to notice suddenly, and it startled me. My apologies. I will, from this point onward, attempt to be a professional.
Cluze is afraid of time itself.
I pretty much am.
I mean, we all should be. So, yes, I'm Chewie. There's Squee right there. There's Cluze over there.
Hey.
And, right, let's get to it, because there's a lot of crap going on, and I don't want to be here all night.
Yeah.
So, hang on, I have to fix this. Okay.
The Fighting Fairy.
Yeah, we've got a Fighting Fairy. This is a thing that popped up on omaze.com, which I've literally never heard of.
I feel like I've heard of that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm probably wrong. Oh, no. I have heard of that. No, I haven't. Yeah, no, I don't know.
All right, well, that was helpful. So, this is a new charitable donation raffle thing that has popped up. Support Make-A-Wish and design your own Magic the Gathering card at Wizards of the Coast HQ. So you and a friend will get to go create a card for an upcoming product with Mark Rosewater, brainstorm its mechanics, creative and balance, and get a behind-the-scenes tour of WotC, play a top-secret game against world-class designers with an unreleased product, and get flown out to Seattle and put up in a 4-star hotel. And then it says, note, this experience will be scheduled when it's both safe to travel and convenient for our partners.
Checks out.
Thank goodness. So, in November.
Yeah, let's go with that.
And yeah, it's a raffle. So if you donate $25, you get 250 entries.
Neat.
It's essentially $10 per entry until you get up to $50, and then you get double the entries. So if you donate $50, you get 1,000. If you donate $100, you get 2,000. And there you go. Since this is both magic and charity, I figured we would throw it out there in case anyone wasn't aware. It ends in 71 days as of this stream, so get on that, I guess.
Yep.
I have no interest in going to Seattle to design a card with Mark Rosewater.
Hey, there used to be an entire crazy designer search for that kind of thing, and also there were those times when the community got to design their own bad enchantments. Now you can design the bad enchantment all by yourself.
So what I don't understand is how I can design Lightning Bolt again.
I think the trick would be to make a functional reprint with a different name. Just call it Shock Stick. You throw it at someone like Zeus.
I worry about my co-hosts.
This spell cannot be countered. We just need to staple that to it, and then we're good.
Gross. So yeah, that topic is done.
Yeah.
Hey, look, a new topic.
Hey, a new topic.
Yeah, it's weird. We try not to get political on the show here, but Bernie Sanders tweeted that he supported A TCG player warehouse workers trying to organize a union. And that made us go, wait, what? And it turns out, according to this article on Vice, that the TCG player warehouse workers are trying to form a union because, apparently, because of its changes to the healthcare system. It looks like the Hey, Cluze, if you're going to type, could you mute?
No, because every time I mute, I fall off the call.
That hasn't happened in a long time. It's just the
Yeah, it's because I haven't muted in a long time. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'll type quietly.
It's really
Go
distracting.
Ahead.
He got a new keyboard.
And
but
it's
he's also,
amazing
like,
to type on.
stuff.
Oh my god, it's so
More
loud.
to the point, if you're going to type on a loud keyboard, commit. Type like this.
Yeah.
You have to type like a Muppet.
Get on it, man.
Get a workout.
Yeah, apparently TCG players' healthcare was going to more than double. And they found out with only 3 days before open enrollment. So, yeah, they're trying to band together into a union, which, of course, TCG player management doesn't like because it's management.
Yeah.
Let's be real. No management wants its workers to unionize because then they make less money. And that's not a slight on TCG player. That's a slight on everyone.
It is generally seen as a power shift when it works.
Yeah, because the whole point of a union is, in a perfect world, the whole point of a union is to give the employees some power against unfair practices by their employer, so that the employer can't go, you know what? You're just fired, and I'll bring in someone else. For instance.
Civics class,
yeah. I do like that it says here that TCG player did not return our request for comment. Of
We're
course
all
not.
shocked.
There's no reason to do that on their part.
No. So yeah, we're gonna drop a link to the Vice article down in the show notes for the audio version, so you should go check it out if you're interested at all. I wish them good luck and hope that they can make something work. But anyway, it's just weird when...
It's unexpected cross-pollination of feeds.
Yeah, when Bernie Sanders mentions TCG player in a tweet, you're like, what? What? Sorry?
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on. That's still weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, that's the Vice article. Here we go. All right. Jumpstart, which was gonna release sometime.
Will now release later.
Yeah, will now release on July 17th. It'll release on Arena on the 16th, and it'll be on Magic Online on June 25th through Treasure Chests only. Now, when this popped up in the Manapool Discord server, I said, and I quote, WTF is Jumpstart. Because, one, there's more important things in my life right now, worrying about loved ones and whatnot. And the other is product fatigue has finally caused me to completely forget that something was coming. Even though the three of us talked about this just a 3 months ago.
I would wager that if you were to try to convince me that we did an episode about a product that doesn't exist, you could probably do it. I'd be like, oh, right, we did talk about that thing where they're just printing on Slim Jim wrappers. I forgot.
Yeah.
I hope they have great commercials.
There's just so much Magic-related nonsense these days that something was bound to fall out of my brain. This was, for those of you like me that don't remember, these two didn't remember either. At least Bill didn't. I don't think...
I didn't remember.
Yeah, no, I had to be reminded of it.
Okay.
I mean, once you said a little bit about it, I'm like, oh yeah, we really did talk about that,
Yeah,
didn't
the
we?
Discord server was like, it's the... what did they say? The sealed deck mashup thing. And I went, that doesn't help at all.
with the pseudo random like theme deck things.
Yeah, the themed boosters that you then grab multiples of and smash them
Yeah.
together and make a deck. And eventually that sunk in. And I went, oh.
The thing that seemed pretty neat, but did not really make it to long-term memory. But it could be dug out.
It could be dug out. So the name Jumpstart meant literally nothing to me. I'm like, I don't even know what this is. And this doesn't say. It just says...
Yeah. They're bad at reminding us or linking back to things.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they would just link back, right here, they have the perfect opportunity just to link back to the announcement article or literally anything. If only there were some kind of like markup language that we could use for these sorts of things where you could have a spot where you could click and it would take you to another article. If only that existed.
I don't know what sort of sorcery you're talking about.
I know, it's crazy talk.
But yeah, suffice it to say, that's what it was, and it is being delayed. They did make a point of saying that like the actual core set is not, because they knew this was going to raise concerns about printing processes.
Yeah, it says because of manufacturing delays due to COVID-19 is why it's been delayed. But apparently, Core Set 2021 is still set to ship June 25th on digital and July 3rd on tabletop, with tabletop pre-releases taking place the weekend of June 26th. I would not set my calendar by that, everybody. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's 3 months away.
Yeah, that...
Think back to how many months March was for a concept of how
God.
long 3 months is.
Yeah. Just to jump on current events real quick, if parts of the country keep threatening to open up before we have rigorous testing procedures for COVID-19, we're going to see a second wave, and the lockdown's going to continue. I don't even like the word lockdown, but the shelter-in-place, stay-at-home things should not be lifted, and the places that are in terrible danger. If you live in one of those places that are opening up, for God's sake, be safe.
Stay inside.
Yeah, if you have to go to work because they're forcing you to, please take precautions because it's going to be bad. And like 2 or 3 weeks after that. Guaranteed.
Yeah, that's the real problem. It's not going to be immediate. It's going to be...
Yeah.
There's a lag. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah. So, moving on. So, just don't expect to go to the Core Set 2021 pre-release in person. I'm just saying. Ouch. Okay, so moving on. So Ikoria came out, which means we have policy updates for judges and whatnot. Which really, this is all just judgy stuff about how Companion works.
Yeah, pretty much. I skimmed through this. Here's the thing. If you're going to use Companion, don't screw up your deck.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. But
I
you know
just
what?
appreciate how direct that is.
Let me tell you a fun game that I play with these sorts of things. Anytime I get something like that, I ask myself, hey, could I shorten this sentence and it's still true? And it is. If you're going to build a deck, don't screw it up. There you go.
Words to live by, man.
And also, could you register the deck that you're actually using? That would be awesome.
But also, be very careful if we ever have paper events anytime soon. Be very careful that you don't accidentally, like between games, sideboard in some stuff that makes your Companion not work anymore.
Right.
And still present your Companion, because that's going to cause problems. And Umpex just subbed for the 9th month on 4 in a row. Thank you very much, sir. Welcome back. Yeah. And that's really what all this is. There's nothing in here about mutate. This is all about Companion, right?
Yeah, well, it's the only one that rules-wise was weird.
Exactly. Well, tournament rules-wise is weird.
Okay, fair. Yeah, tournament
Yeah.
rules. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of weird stuff.
Mutate is very weird rules-wise. So, all right.
I was going to say, but harder to screw up. But no, I'm confident.
Life finds a way.
I'm consistently amazed at the number of people who didn't bother to read any of the reminder text in any of the preview cards where it specifically says non-human under mutate.
Yeah.
Like, I see so many people complaining about that on Twitter, and I'm like, it's actually been there since the very first one they revealed.
We even talked about it because
yeah, clearly these people don't listen to Monday
someone's
Night
gonna
Magic.
mess this up, and it's gonna suck because you're gonna realize it like 2 turns later.
Yeah, like I saw people complaining that they thought Arena was broken because they couldn't mutate anything. It's because they had a board full of humans and a mutate card in hand. Like,
Human.
these were all things I know that we only had like a week to absorb, or 2 weeks, or a week and a half, or whatever it was, to absorb all of the cards from 2 sets at once. But like, is it the reminder text?
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. Speaking of companions, Magic Online has tweeted that, well, they've spelled it wrong here, but Garuda, I don't know, Garuda?
Gerudo.
Yeah, the place where, isn't that where Ganondorf is from?
Yeah, the one with the best theme in Zelda 64.
Take your word for that. Also, he called it Zelda 64.
I did. That's my time frame.
That's how old Bill is.
That's what it was called for 3 years before it came out.
But due to an issue with Garuda, Doom of Depths, they're temporarily banning it in Legacy. Because the only place to play is on Magic Online. You know?
Which format?
Legacy.
The king of all formats.
Players who have the card as part of their Legacy League deck will be removed from the league and have their entry returned, granted 3 packs of Ikoria within 48 hours. And then, that was at 7 p.m. on the 18th. And then at 8:13, they said, after further consideration, we're banning Garuda, Doom of Depths in Standard, Pioneer, Modern, and Vintage as well.
After further consideration, the same card that doesn't work in these formats is also bugged in these other formats.
Huh.
Yeah.
The damnedest thing.
So, yeah. Now, as far as we can tell, it has to do with, well, they said it. Also, the Legacy Showcase qualifier got moved to next Sunday, the 26th, at 9 a.m. Pacific time, in case you care.
Yeah.
So, but anyone who qualified for that got an email about it, so whatever. Here it is. For those asking, the issue with Garda, because the person in charge of Magic Online didn't bother to spell it right twice, is its interaction with Leyline of the Void effects. So they're hoping to fix it.
Yeah.
But for now, there's an issue, and so they just nixed it. They were like, you know what? This is causing a big enough hassle. And Squee did some digging around.
Yeah, I found theories, but none of them were confirmed. But the theory that makes the most sense to me, with all the editorial quotes around that, is that because the functionality of the card is worse than what it's supposed to be, because things like Leyline are actually interfering with its ability to properly dig out creatures that it mills to put into play. Just like the text on the card for people listening, the relevant text is when Garuda, Ikoruga, enters the battlefield, each player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. Put a creature card with an even converted mana cost from among those cards onto the battlefield under your control. And because it doesn't actually care that the cards go to your graveyard, if something interferes and makes them go to exile, you should still get to pick them as a creature. But that doesn't work in Magic Online right now, so it's actually worse than it's normally supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
But there are tons of Magic Online cards that are worse than they're supposed to be because of bugs. That doesn't usually get them banned. The theory that made sense to me was that because if you lose a game or a round or whatever to a glitch, you can ask for, reimbursement. And right now, Magic Online has an incredibly large amount of activity, including in tournaments that have, prizes. the idea that you play it out, and if it works out and that doesn't come up, you're great. If it doesn't work out and that's a thing that stops you, well, now you just get a reimbursement, is not very sustainable for the game. Now, no one in WotC said this was the reason, but that's the main difference I can see, because right now, this is where you play it. In Arena, it works, by the way. This is just Magic Online.
Yeah.
So, like,
well, because
it's
Legacy
the one
of the
that
Void's
has...
not in Arena, so...
Yeah. But, yeah, so that's where that is. I'm sure they'll fix it eventually.
Yeah, they said they're gonna try to. Whoops, no, where'd it go?
Oh, and to correct, yeah, Leyline is in Arena.
It is.
It was in a core set. I believe it was a core set.
Wow, shows you how much Standard I play.
Yeah, core set 2020. Cool. Yeah.
Really?
But
okay.
They work on entirely different engines, so it makes
like
sense.
not even remotely. They don't even recognize each other when they pass in the street.
No.
That and they should be at least 6 feet away and wearing a mask. But whatever.
Yeah, it's tough to read cards from 6 feet away,
especially if it's wearing a mask.
Especially if it's wearing a mask.
Yep. But yeah, that's where they're at right now. So I'm sure it'll get fixed soon enough.
Yeah. Yeah, they said they're hang on, where was it? There we go. Currently working on a fix that we hope to have out next week with several other fixes. So that would be this week. So hopefully by the time you're seeing this, they will have fixed it or will be fixing it very soon.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet this is a pretty big priority, given this is the way that you play Legacy now when we can't get together and whatnot. And it's the way that you play Modern, and it's the way that you play all the formats you can't just freely play through Arena. So they're going to want to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. Hang on, I have too many windows open.
Crack it.
Okay. So, no playing with Gruta on Magic Online whatsoever.
Nope.
But just Garuda. It's not like Companion is breaking things. So, let's go to...
yeah, certainly not at all.
The Commander rules update, which is really tiny. Let's make that bigger. There we go. Okay. So, the Commander's rules update is... Well, it's a whole lot of nonsense. They did a thing that I expected. They changed one of the rules so that companions work within the rules of Commander.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that makes sense. Lutri, they talked about why they banned it on day one is because they knew they were gonna. So
I actually appreciate that.
Yeah, like they looked at the card and they talked about it and they said, this is gonna get banned. There's no sense letting like people run out and buy it with the hopes of using it and then not, use it because we know we're gonna ban it. So they just went ahead and banned it. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of one-time things that they don't expect to happen again in this article, by the way. Banning Lutri before it came out, that's a one-time thing that they don't expect to happen again. They've also banned Flash.
Nah.
There it was. In Commander. Because of CEDH. Which, now chat, I know you've yelled at me before, but this is competitive EDH, right?
I feel like that was directed at the chat.
It was, yeah.
Okay, good. I'm like,
Yeah, so, competitive EDH, which for some reason is not its own format, apparently has managed to bug the hell out of the rules committee enough to where they said, okay, fine, we'll ban Flash in Commander if you will shut the... So...
yeah.
They did. So now Flash is banned in Commander, the card. I love that this new website can't bother to have an image of the card, just so, or a link that you can mouse over or something.
No.
It's like they're following what WotC does and just not bothering. So for anyone who's not aware, we'll go freaking look it up, because heaven forbid they put it on the screen in the damn article that they're talking about. All right, so Flash says, for 1 and a blue, it's an instant. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. If you do, sacrifice it unless you pay its mana cost, reduced by up to 2. And apparently this is causing problems in competitive EDH? Like, okay.
I'd forgotten exactly how that works, and I take back what I said before the show about it not being that good.
Yeah, like, this card was banned in...
Yeah, I'd completely forgotten the actual wording of the card.
Was it Legacy? Yeah, it's banned in Legacy. It's restricted in Vintage.
Yeah.
And it's still legal in Commander? No, it is not. They'll update that shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah.
In theory. I don't know what the problem with it was in Commander. I know that in Legacy and presumably Vintage, Protean Hulk was the issue back in the day, because Flash Hulk was totally a thing. And it was totally bizarre. There were 2 different Flash Hulk combos that were completely bizarre. And some people playing the deck didn't even know how to do the combo. They would just play the Flash and drop the Hulk and hope their opponent conceded. It was a really weird time back then.
Yeah, for one thing, we could play Magic in person. It was crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and it got banned due to Protean Hulk in Commander too? Really? Huh. Okay. So, whatever. We neither know nor do we care. We're just here to pass along the news that Flash has been banned in Commander.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. They say, let's see, enough CEDH players who we trust have convinced us that it is the only change they need for the environment they seek to cultivate. Though they represent a small fraction of the Commander player base, we are willing to make this effort for them. I don't know why they won't just make a new format and say it's the same except for Flash, but whatever. It should not be taken as a signal that we are considering any kind of change in how we intend to manage the format. This is an extraordinary step, and one we are unlikely to repeat. If we scroll up slightly, this is where we say it was a one-time thing and we don't expect it to happen again, but that might not be entirely accurate. That's about Lutri. It goes on to say, we use the ban list to guide players in how to approach the format and hope Flash's role on the list will be to signal cheating things into play quickly in non-interactive ways isn't interesting. Don't do that. That is not how Magic players see a ban list. They see a ban list as a list of cards to not play. If another card like Flash came out that cost 3 and did the same thing, they would play it.
Yeah.
Now, the whole social contract thing is one thing, but that's not a ban list. A social contract is, look, you play that deck that wins on turn 2, we hate you. We're not going to let you play that anymore. Like, that's what that is. It's not, oh, well, they banned Flash, so I guess I can't play this other card either because reason. No. I'm beginning to wonder about the rules committee and their state of mind. But anyway, we believe Commander is still best. This is reading again. Is still best as a social focused format and will not be making any changes to accommodate tournament play, except for this one. Taking responsibility for your and your opponent's fun, including setting expectations within your group, is a fundamental part of the Commander philosophy. Agreed. Organizers who want to move towards more untrusted games should consider adding additional rules or guidance to create the Commander experience they want to offer. But we're still going to yield to these CEDH players and ban Flash in normal EDH. Anyway. This whole section makes little to no sense to me.
I don't like the concept of competitive EDH.
Agreed.
But I think the bigger issue with it in my mind is given EDH was this sort of casual fun thing that people did that wasn't meant to be competitive. When they started popping out ban lists and things like that, it was mostly to be conducive for if you go into a story, there's some stuff that's kind of accepted as, if you don't know the people, then you can still play without like going through your 100 list and verifying everyone's cool with every card.
Yeah.
But like that's still not competitive. That's just to save time. Like competitive EDH is this thing where you're saying, okay, well, be cutthroat because that's what makes you win because we're competitive now. But don't be dick cutthroat. And like that's a really hard line to draw with strangers.
That's pretty funny.
Pretty fair too.
So yeah, that was from the rules committee. Thanks, y'all. It's very weird.
Yeah.
They're like, look, we don't want to make changes for the competitive EDH people. So here's a change for the competitive EDH people. But we really believe that if they want to do competitive EDH, they should probably make their own thing. But we're still going to make this change for them because we're cool like that. I'm like, all right, y'all, whatever you say. Question to the host, would you have Protean Hulk or Flash banned if you had to pick one? Well, Flash is clearly the problem. So
yeah, if I was
Flash.
going to pick one, it would be Flash.
Yeah, they picked right. Protean Hulk costs, what, 6?
Yeah.
So you have to...
Like, even if you ignore Protean Hulk, what Flash does in any deck that is vaguely trying to use it is going to go hard against the plan of, we play some stuff and then we either ramp out or we bust out some big cool thing. Because, like, it just does enable a bunch of stuff. Like, the drawback of this thing enters the battlefield and then dies is, like, a feature in a lot of Magic decks.
Yeah,
Like,
let me just double check something.
Cool, I
here
don't need a sack
real
outlet anymore.
quick.
Bam, let's do that.
Chat is telling us that Protean Hulk costs 7. Apologies.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, let me just check something here real quick. Protean Hulk, it costs 5 green. Okay, do I ban that or do I ban Flash? Flash costs 1 and a blue. Flash, I ban Flash.
Cluze priorities hard in order.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cluze is just looking at the color of the mana symbols.
I was just looking at color identity, and
I'm
that's got to
looking at
go.
Enabling ridiculous crap, and Flash is way more guilty of that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
certainly.
Like, that's not even a hard question.
Protean Hulk is sort of chilling over there with all the Titans and stuff. Like, yeah, you paid for it, or you
It does
spent
cool
other
stuff.
resources to get them out. Neat.
It was expensive. Hey, it seems like all the bad things that people don't like that are unfun happen when free stuff happens in Magic.
I really thought you were going to say someone plays a blue card.
Well,
I was so sure that's where you were
That's-
going.
All
with
right.
it.
Well, would you like to rewind? We can do a take 2, right? Chewie
No,
edits
no,
the show, right?
It's
yeah,
happened
totally.
now.
Oh yeah, he totally edits the show.
But no, you're right. Like, historically, the cards that break Magic are the cards that convert one resource into a vastly better resource, or the cards that give you something at the cost of effectively nothing. Like,
Yeah.
so you reference Phyrexian mana.
Yeah, that's
And
what I was thinking of. In fact,
Probably the upcoming conversations about Companion.
yeah.
So, yeah.
That same person said, well, Flash could be played fairly. Yeah, but it's what it does is
No,
inherently
whoa.
unfair.
I was gonna say, have you read that card?
I mean, yeah, you could use it for like not busted power cards, and that's cool. And like, if your friend group is down with that, then you can run it in your commander deck. Like,
Yeah.
run what you
Also-
want to run, and that everyone agrees is okay.
Also,
Don't-
Random KO just threw 100 bits. So wait, there's a Monday Night Magic tonight? Is it Monday? Darn
I
the
don't
concept of
know.
Passage of
Yeah,
time.
we literally have no idea anymore.
Chewie convinced me there was a Monday.
Yeah, there's always
I guess
Monday.
I guess I could have signed in and seen if I had resets in Overwatch to confirm it was Monday, but
That takes effort.
or maybe it was just the fact that I had to work today, but I didn't have to work yesterday.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So we've got policy update about companion. The judges are like, the head judge here guy, Toby Elliott, is like, it's fine. Magic Online is like, one of them is causing problems, but it's fine. Commander had to shift a word in a rule to make companion work, but it's not like companion itself is causing any. Oh dear God!
Bah.
So yeah, Brian Gottlieb tweeted. When was this? 2:00 this afternoon. Companions took first and second in the Vintage Challenge, first through fourth in the Legacy Challenge, the entire top 8 of the Modern Challenge, first through fourth in the Pioneer Challenge, and 6 of 8 slots in the top 8 of the Standard Challenge.
Seems fine.
That's a lot of Abzan.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Might seem the other.
What?
It may seem not fine.
There's a chance that it's the opposite of fine.
Yeah, that's what
And
I'm
in
saying.
fact, the dog is on fire.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
don't think so.
Let me just think about companion here. I wonder, is this a thing that lets you do something that you couldn't do before, like get around a limitation in Magic, like I don't know, hand size or card availability? Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's essentially a card that's always in your hand.
Huh.
That can't be discarded.
Huh.
But your opponent also knows that it's always in your hand and they can't make you discard it. Like, I think this is not a sign of the end times. I think this is a sign of a brand new thing that's making a bigger splash than anyone has ever seen or expected. But I think it's going to correct at least a little bit. I don't think it's the end of Magic as we know it. I think we just haven't learned how to play with freaking companions yet. That's my take as a reasonable, level-headed individual.
I appreciate that self-qualification. Having played other games that have less variance, I think that if you always know what your opponent's going to have on like turn 2, because it's always in their hand at the beginning of every game, is sort of going to eat into the way that games play. I don't think that's going to kill Magic, but I think it is a change that Magic itself is not really prepared people for. Because like there's the curve out and there's the not curve out, but like you only get 7 cards. But if you always have your 2-drop, cool.
I mean, none of the companions I don't think are 2-drops, but
no, I'm just using it as an example, like that design direction.
Not a very good example, but
fair enough. Having played games with less variance, you will get the same game more often.
A bunch of them are 3-drops, though.
That is not that different from a 2-drop.
It's pretty big, but on turn 3, no, it's the same as a 2-drop on turn 2, really.
Yeah. And if you're going to play the same 3-drop and your opponent's going to play the same 3-drop on turn 3, then that is less variance in your game. I don't think that's going to destroy Magic. I think it's different. I can understand people not being as happy about it. Also, the competitive players play for consistency. And they always have. So yeah, they're going to jump in on this.
That's why cards the casual players would never even look at, like Opt or Peak or any sort of blue card that lets you look at the
name
top
other
couple
blue
cards.
card.
Yeah. Are always huge in competitive deck lists because you're almost removing cards from your deck.
Yeah.
What's the one that's banned in Modern and all the freaking formats?
Island?
No, the spell. I get them all confused. Ponder?
That was a
Preordain? It's one of those or both of those or something. I don't know. They're cards that like you'd never play unless you're trying to win a tournament.
Like all the variations of like Gitaxian Probe and stuff, the things that are super cheap or free and let you effectively lower the size of your deck.
Exactly. Yeah. For God's sake, Urza's Bauble saw play in some decks for a while because it's essentially removing 4 cards from your deck. Like, so what Cluze says, what Squee says is true. But
And by extension, what Cluze says, probably not.
probably not.
Although, no, seriously, I gotta say the things that I think make Magic the worst, and that break Magic the most, and that make it the most unfun for everybody involved, are things that um, are free. We already talked about that, and things that drastically reduce or drastically minimize variance. There's nothing wrong with reducing variance a little bit. It's when you minimize it so much that it becomes a problem. And
Yeah.
that's what this card always in your hand. It kind of falls into that second bucket.
True. But the thing about I don't understand why people are freaking out so hard about Companion. It's literally a card that's always in your hand that you can only ever play once.
I mean, how often do you play a card more than once in a game of Magic?
Well, it's not like people were comparing it when it was first revealed to the hero powers in Hearthstone and Gen and Baku,
Yeah.
where you have a deck building requirement, and if you meet it, then something massively overpowered happens. Where it, like with Gen and Baku, it was either your hero power, which is always a thing, either costs half as much or is always insanely overpowered. And in this, it's a thing you can cast one time that your opponent knows is in your hand at all times.
But it does drastically alter your decision making for keeping a hand.
Very true, but that's called strategy.
Yes.
I mean, like the point that I think both of you are talking about at the same time right now is that it's a change to how Magic works.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
And we are not known as a people for being okay with changes to how Magic works, especially coming off of several years of WotC repeatedly making giant design mistakes that have shifted formats and resulted in bans.
Yeah, and it does upset a delicate balance that evolved over 20 years.
I mean, I'm fine with them changing stuff up because I remember people freaking out about the first Planeswalkers because it was different and new and changed the game.
You know what's going to kill the game? Mythics.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucked.
Yeah, the mythic rarity was going to make Magic unbuyable and unplayable, and it was going to lead to its
made
downfall.
it more expensive. I mean,
yeah, but
there
it
were
didn't
negative
kill the
consequences.
game, Bill.
No,
I didn't say
my
there weren't
point
negative
is that
consequences.
people are dreading things because they have negative consequences, not that the game is ending. Anyone who says Magic is ending is just going to say that because they stubbed their toe on a Magic box. Like, that's just what they do now. But, like, it's fair to see negative trend. And that's why people are being negative.
Yeah. Like, there's one person in chat who keeps saying, so what do you do when your opponent always has 8 cards? Well, why don't you? You could play Companion too, then you have 8 cards. Then they don't have an advantage.
Because I'm not a dick.
That has nothing to do with being a dick, Cluze.
I'm just harkening back. It's a callback to Squeeze earlier.
That was not a good callback.
No, that's not the
it was a
best one.
good callback. Look, I've only got so much, and I used it all up.
My point here is, if it's that big a disadvantage, then to you, that means it's that big an advantage, which means you should be playing a Companion deck too.
Right, but using that logic, it then forces me to play in a way I didn't want to play.
Well,
I mean,
then figure out how it's not
Magic.
figure out how to not make it such a giant disadvantage. There are ways around it. It's literally week 1. Like, people will figure it out. If they don't, WotC will have to be like, oh god, what are we gonna do? No more Companions ever, I guess. You can't play that in any format. You can put it in your deck, but it's not a Companion. Okay, bye. I mean, none of these cards are good enough to put in your deck if it's not always in your opening hand, so...
I think it's one of those things where it has an intrinsic advantage, and if you're playing in a competitive format where it's available, you're probably going to play to that advantage, and that does reduce the number of viable cards. I also acknowledge that no matter what period of Magic you're looking at, there's a very small band of viable cards if you're considering yourself a legitimately competitive player, and that these are just going to take up a bunch of those slots.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're really taking away choices because, like, there have been a lot of formats where, you know, some of your slots were mana fixing because if you didn't play a 4-color deck, you lost. And, like, that's just what you did in those formats. I'm not holding my breath on this being a common thing going forward. I think they're, like always, testing it a little bit, and then in like 3 or 4 years, if this works out, we might see more of it. But It's a test. We'll see how it goes. If it completely runs over the format, they'll slide it over into that corner with the Phyrexian mana and everything else they're not allowed to do anymore. It can hang out with Storm.
Yeah, and since some of the snarkier elements of chat are pointing out, I'm not saying there isn't a problem. I'm saying it's not the end of Magic as we know it. Companion is not going to bring down the competitive Shut up.
So, are people, just because I haven't been paying attention, I've been like doing work. Are people actually like non-ironically saying end of Magic? Because people ironically say end of Magic all the time, and people overreact all the time. Is this different from every other time?
I have seen more people complaining about Companion this quickly than any other thing ever.
Okay. Got it. I just say that because I feel like the making fun of people for saying end of Magic is done so often at this point that it's almost a deflection of criticism. But if people are actually giving that real reaction, then yeah, have at. I just want to make sure that that's actually warranted, because there are obviously issues. I don't know if they're like critical issues or not. We'll see how things go in a few weeks.
Yeah.
I think also we're all stuck on Twitter right now because people can't go outside and complain about other stuff. So that's
True.
probably magnifying every feeling everyone has.
But like, it's different, and all Magic players have shown time and time again that they fear all change. And this is a big change. So, of course, the first thing to do is get on the internet and complain about it, rather than try to figure out a way around it. I'm sure there's a way to minimize just how powerful Commander is. Or Companion, damn it. And,
Conquistador.
Yeah. But they're too busy complaining to actually figure it out.
I suspect that most of the people that are complaining are not the people that are actually going to figure it out. This is how they're passing the time until someone does. Because like, if I were like a crazy deck brew person, I would love it if everyone's running the same kind of cards. It makes it a lot easier to come up with my rogue deck that beats it. And they're not going to go on Twitter saying how to beat it. They're going to like crash a tournament and be awesome, and then we'll be fine.
Yeah, like, there's got to be a way around this without WotC having to run in with the banhammer and smash 10 cards.
They're not going to ban an entire keyword. Not since anti and affinity has that been a thing, and this is not affinity.
This is not affinity. That is true. I think it's just a giant sea change, and Magic players, rather than figure it out, just want to bitch and moan. Because that's what Magic players do, as we talk about all the time on this show.
I think also the frequency
ahead.
of banning has made it seem like a more viable tool than it should be.
Yeah.
I would like to criticize one comment from you, Chewie, earlier.
Okay.
If I could. So you made the not so bold, definitely true claim that Magic players always complain about change because they
do.
They hate change. I think it's unfair to single out Magic players there. I think people hate change. Just overall, as a group,
True.
people hate change.
But in this
it's
strategical game
it's
where you have to
frightening.
outthink your opponent,
Yeah.
people don't stop and think.
I'm just saying this is a characteristic of human beings, not just of Magic players. I don't think that we should single them out as if this is a trait exclusive to them. I was going to say us, but I don't play Magic these days, so.
I mean, I'm singling it out as a trait because that's who I'm talking to. So thank
He
you.
is identifying an audience.
Yeah, thank you, Cluze.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think it's a little.
I will be bold and say that Magic players are often incredibly entitled and whiny because they're the incredibly entitled and whiny circle that I put up with more than the other one. There are plenty of other people out there that meet those criteria, but the Magic players are the ones that I have to interact with because I like Magic. So
Exactly. So, yeah. It could be that I'm the asshole here and the companion actually is just the worst thing ever and they should ban it. But I really do severely doubt that.
I think we will have a fun time looking back on this mechanic in like 18 months when we get to rotation. And we're like, oh, thank God it's finally leaving. Or, oh, hey, that was when that came out. That's in every set now somehow.
Let's hope not.
It takes that extra planeswalker slot, and those just cycle through each. Like every color gets one. Who knows? Merchandise.
Yeah. So there you go. I like it when I try to be the level-headed person and try to tell people not to panic, and people fuss at me for it. Thanks, chat. I love you guys too. Just saying, it's not as bad. That and there are worse things in the freaking world to worry about right now than, oh my god, everyone's going to be playing these same 10 cards forever. So...
I mean, do you remember when the difference between two different Abzan decks was 3 cards?
I do, and they had different names.
Yeah. And, like, that's kind of how I feel about most of it. It's like, yeah, this is going to be a thing for a bit. Just like when there's good equipment. Like, you remember when we got the swords and Scars of Mirrodin? And it was like, yeah, you're probably running at least one of the swords, or like, you know, by the end of it, a ridiculously busted, you know, germ monster.
Yeah,
but like everything ran those cards because they were good and they fit in many decks.
As Cluze said in the Twitch chat a while ago, I remember a time when you could play whichever Titan you like.
There were 6 of them. I counted Wormcoil Engine.
You could pick any one of these 5 Titans with the bonus Wormcoil Engine, and you could pick whichever one you like, and you could play it in Standard.
It's true. It's very true.
So, yeah. I'm just saying, it's week 1. Everybody calm down. Okay? Okay.
Don't worry, we'll revisit this topic as things go forward. Because if anyone's going to get bored with seeing the same cards winning every week, it's going to be us.
It's us. Yeah, you're right.
We're not playing against them or with them. We have nothing to gain from this. We're just going to be bored.
Yeah. So, all right, moving on. Magic Arena last week posted a state of the game. The big thing, as I'm sure everyone knows by now that has any interest at all, is player drafts. You're now playing... drafting with people instead of drafting against a robot.
The machine.
There you go. So
good job.
Now you can see just how bad common people are at drafting. Which is a thing I've seen pop up on Twitter a lot. We're like, wow. Are we sure we're not drafting against bots? Because I got past like a turn, whatever, around whatever this card. And I'm like, yes. Did you never draft at your local game store?
I really appreciated drafting at my local game store. Never since have I gotten 6 Garys in one deck.
Exactly. So, yeah. Not everyone that plays Arena studies drafting. They just pick cards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you'll be fine.
It'll be okay.
There's a few other bits in here. Some, I thought up here? No, it must be down here. Whoop. Oh, yeah, it was down here. They've got some card UI improvements just to make things easier to see and tell what's going on. New, like, symbol type things that you see on screen. And they've got the roadmap here, a 64-bit client, Mac OS, Cube Draft, all things that they're working on in concept. Apparently, mobile is planned for 2020.
That was announced before, wasn't it?
I mean, I know that they were announced that they were working on it. I don't know if there was this year slapped on it before. That's neat.
No, I thought there was.
Was there?
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was the actual like big news because it came off of an investors call.
Yeah.
And in that investors call, they said, and of course it's coming to mobile. I think at the time it was next year, and that was in 2019, but maybe it was at the beginning of 2020, and they said this year. I don't know. But the point was, when we heard that, we all went, what?
Yeah, like that
Okay.
was the way that it got sort of soft announced because they were telling their investors, this is doing great and it's going to do more great when we put it on those little addiction boxes. So,
Look, it's an addiction box.
yeah.
So yeah,
Got
and it
one
will.
right here. It's so addicting.
They're saying it will have cross-platform support, which is really the only way to do it.
Yeah.
If it would be really weird if people on mobile could only play against other people on mobile and not people on PC.
That would go over great.
That would be weird.
It'd be like that awful thing where your friends have a different console than you do and you're not allowed to play games together. Everyone hates that and has always hated that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Magic Arena. Speaking of Magic Arena, there's another E-League. What's it called? E-League Showdown Magic the Gathering Arena. It's going to be this popped up in the Discord server literally right before we started. So, hang on, let me make this slightly bigger. There we go. All right. Blah, 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 blah. E-League Showdown Magic the Gathering Arena Weekly Esports Competition Series. First competition will be this Wednesday, April 22nd, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. The series will continue with a new competition each Wednesday at 6 through May 27th. And you've got players playing, players selected through a combination of invitations and player applications. And it'll be a single elimination match. And there you go. Yeah. So, hey, if you want to see more Arena, it's got a commentary team that you recognize. Alice V, Riley, can't think of his last name, Marshall Sutcliffe, Cedric Phillips, and Corey. Wait, how come Cedric and Corey get their last name but everyone else doesn't? That's weird.
Probably making them fit.
So you don't
because like
you don't confuse Cedric with that other Cedric who would be on the commentary team for Magic Arena?
I would wager each of them was told to type in, do a form, and they did it differently.
Ow. So yeah, there you go. More places to watch people playing Arena competitively. Yay!
Esport.
And also, chat has pointed out that my tone when I go on these soapbox rants comes off as condescending, and it is.
It's true.
Apologies. Not really. Not really.
See, he had to get that extra little condescension.
Yeah, like, I don't mean for my tone to be condescending, but if I think about it, my tone is condescending. So, apologies for that, sorta. But I've just been dealing with Magic players and whining about stuff for so long that I have zero patience for it anymore. And that comes across. So, yeah. It's not a thing I apparently have control over. I can't be like, okay, you guys, everything's gonna be fine, you bunch of whining entitled bastards. Like, I can't make that sound happy. This is just who I am. I put on no airs. So, you know. It'll be okay. So, moving on.
Da-da-da.
So, Cluze, you put this in the show notes, I think?
Whoa, crap! Which one? It's about the shirts.
Yeah, there's
all right. Yeah,
I can't actually make this fit the way my screen is cropped.
Okay, that's fine. We got a link. It's in the show notes. Hey, first of all, by the way, we have show notes.
I can make it slightly.
So if ever you are listening to this, perhaps one day in the far-flung future, or maybe in the past, look, I'm not going to like constrain you to any one timeline, and you happen to be on, say, public transit. Maybe you're Steve and you're on the bus and you're listening to this show on your headphones, and you think to yourself, wow, that was an interesting thing. I'd kind of like to see that article that they're talking about. We have show notes with links to all of these articles. Well, I want to say
that is.
Yeah, the audio version. In the video version,
There's a link to the show notes.
There's a link to the show notes. It's down in
Like
the.
there's a link to
doobly-doo?
the audio
Is it in
version's
the-
post, so you have to make an extra click.
thing?
Apologies.
Okay, yeah. Well, but still, it's only a couple of clicks. You still don't have to type in an address because who wants to do that? Come on, man.
Correct.
Anyway, where were we? Oh, yeah. I think it was like a week and a half ago. There was, I think, a tweet by somebody tangentially involved with Wizards. I don't know. That drew to my attention that there are a whole bunch, like a whole just slew of Magic t-shirts available at designbyhumans.com. They've got a whole Magic the Gathering shop. And if you check them out, some of these look pretty cool, quite frankly. I mean, they're mostly Magic tees, so they're almost all black because we're gamers, question mark. But still, they got some great designs they got going on here, including red mana symbol and another kind of flamey red mana symbol.
Mm.
You've got Chandra, and you've got a third kind of red mana symbol. We've got a red planeswalker symbol, if you want to get in on that. You've got a stained glass red planeswalker symbol. That's pretty neat.
Also, those of you on screen are only seeing 4. There are 5 in each row, but the way I've got my scene cropped, you can't see the ones that are over here on the left. So there's more than what you're seeing on screen, is what I'm saying.
There's a more different one with Chandra on it and a Bolt U. And this one that says plains and swamp and mountain and forest. That's a great one. I think this one's misprinted, though. It also says island. I don't know what's up with that, but your mileage may vary, is what I'll say. Anyway, there's some neat designs, some neat t-shirts. We're nerds. We like our t-shirts with stuff that we like on them. And here it is. Here's stuff that you like on t-shirts for your torso. So, or
I'm wearing a Cuphead shirt right now, so he's right.
Or, for makeshift mask usage. I'm not going to judge. You do what you need to.
Yeah, he's not going to judge. He stopped doing that a couple years ago.
I stopped doing that a while back because I didn't have time.
That'll do it.
Anyway, cool t-shirts. Check them out. That's pretty much it. That's all there is to this one. T-shirts.
All right. And finally, there's one more thing, and it's the Magic. Whoops. Let's see. Is this? Yeah, there we go. The Magic Fest Online Season 1 Finals apparently happened at some point. I don't know when, but they happened. And nothing has happened in Season 2 yet, so even though this was before the new set came out, figured we would run through it real quick. Just for, the sake of completion. I don't know who won, because this is just the freaking top 8, because of course, we'll go dig for that in a second. Let's see. The top 8, we had Sean Goddard playing Jeskai Fires, Fabrizio and Terry playing Rakdos Sacrifice, Andre Santos was playing Bant, Luis Salvato was playing Tamer Adventure, Takumi, holy crap, Utsunomiya. I almost had that right. He was playing Bant, Alexander Gordon Brown was on Tamer Adventures, and Teruya Kakumai. Is that right?
Kakumai.
There we go. Was playing Rakdos Sacrifice, and David Rude was playing Jeskai Fires. Let's see. Oh, okay, Vincent gave me a link. Because apparently I closed the other one that had the multiple links. And Fabrizio and Terry won with the Rakdos Sacrifice deck. Nice. You'll notice there were a bunch of names on there that you might have recognized because, good players are good. That's how Magic works.
Checks out.
Yeah. And look, he came out on top using Stonecoil Serpent, which was a breakout card from the weekend. A breakout card at the very end of a format. That's amazing.
Which is fun. Those are fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. You don't see that terribly often in the last week of the format. Or last couple weeks, depending on when this happened. But okay. So that's us. And that's Magic.
Magic.
Yay, Magic.
Magic brings us here today. But not in person.
No, never in person. All right, so let's wrap it up then.
Okay. You can find me on Twitter at SqueeGoblinNabob. There's no I in Goblin because it's probably off playing Final Fantasy VII right now without me, like a jerk. Yeah, I remember the last time we did an episode. I think I did. It wasn't an episode. I think it was just like the streaming general conversation thing from a few weeks back that I'd commented on how I played the FF7 remake demo and I wasn't that excited about it. But I ended up picking up the game anyway, just to have something to do that weekend. And the demo did an absolutely terrible job of selling the game, and the game is actually good. So there's a weird 180 for you. The demo is just running you through the on-rails reactor mission at the start of the game, so it does absolutely nothing to showcase what makes the game good, which is seeing the massive deviations that they did to fill out characters, fill in some plot holes, explore a lot more of the city, do way more cool stuff, and just in general play with characters that are more fun to play with in Cloud, beating things with his default attacks. So, yeah, if you liked Final Fantasy VII and you haven't already checked it out, like it might be worth at least watching some people YouTube for a minute. I've been having fun with it. Other than that, I've just been doing a bunch of work stuff that's boring, so I'm not going to bother you with it. And last week, I jumped on to Overwatch for a few hours with Chewie, and at no point in Mystery Heroes did I get to play Echo, so I have no opinions there.
Wait, you never did at all?
No, I never once got Echo in the like 15 to 16 games of Mystery Heroes we played. Not even once. Not even like spawned as Echo as the match ended. I never once got Echo.
That's awkward. I got Echo like 3 or 4 times that night.
I remember. I also remember getting killed by Echo a lot. So there's that. But yeah. Maybe next time I'll just do Quick Play Classic. We'll see.
I mean, that's tomorrow night. We could do that.
Yeah, could happen. But that's about all I've got going here. Oh, yeah. And if you're in one of the states where you're allowed to go outside, I'm reiterating this. Don't. Just don't. Please don't.
Yeah.
I promise I don't care how stir crazy you are. It's not worth it. Just
if they're making you, be very careful, please.
Yeah. If you have any agency in this decision, do not do that. If you have to do it, be as careful as you can. History is not in favor of the path that we're on right now. So
yeah, this happened before. Back in 1919 with the Spanish flu.
1918.
There was a really long and well researched Twitter thread about this. Called the Anti-Mask League. People were so pissed off about a quarantine and shutdown and being forced to wear masks in 1919 that they went out and protested and eventually got the law forcing you to wear masks overturned, and then Spanish flu had another second wave of infection
and killed way more people than the first time.
So here we are in 2020 watching history repeat itself because Karen wants a haircut and white people can't be told, no, you can't do something. They have to go out and say, yes, I can. So
be smart, be responsible. And if you're not doing it for yourself, do it for everyone else you've ever cared about.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
As we've said many times, and I am going to sound condescending on this one on purpose.
Oh, please
It's not about you. It's about all the other people that you could potentially infect when you get sick and don't know it yet. Let's be real for a second. I hate it. I haven't seen my parents in almost 2 months. I haven't seen anybody in almost 2 months. I hate having to put on gloves and a mask to go DoorDash. I hate having to come in and disinfect everything before I can do anything in my house. Like, it doesn't matter. These are all things that have happened. It doesn't matter how bad I have to pee. It doesn't matter how hungry I am. And it doesn't matter if I have something in my eye. I can't do anything in the house till I do the full disinfecting routine. I hate it. I wish I could make it stop. But you know how you make it stop? By you keep doing it. Until it's better. You shut up and you deal with it because that's the only way we all get through it. Jesus Christ. Stay home if you don't have to go out. It's not hard. It feels hard. It's not hard. We have all the information and entertainment at the touch of a finger we could ever want. We can go and have people bring us food. And you're like, I don't want to. Shut up. Stay in the house if you can. If you don't have to go out, don't. Because you're getting people killed. Yes, you. Was that condescending or was that just angry? Because I was trying to go for both. I think I missed condescending on that one.
Yeah,
I think it was mostly angry.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't condescending enough.
It was honest.
You know,
But
I'm
it was
watching the
honest. It
entire
was from
country
the heart.
fall to stupidity around me, and it drives me up the wall. Because it's even my parents who are old and ornery are like, are people stupid? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
So yeah. If you're
We're
like,
not
I
telling you
can't
something
wait
you
to
haven't
go out and
heard
get my
before,
hair
but-
did, don't!
Just as a general reminder, like, aside from everything else going on here, the more people bust out on their own right now, the longer we're going to have to deal with this. Like, we would all like it to be done sooner. This is the group project where we can't have anyone screwing it up for the rest of us. We will hate you.
Yeah.
So,
Now, before I get any of this, if you have a job and you have to go to work, that's fine. I'm not talking to you, obviously.
Yeah.
I go out and try to do my part to keep people in the house by bringing them food so they don't have to go out because I trust me to stay safe more than I trust them to stay safe to go out and get food. That's why I do it. That and it, pays the bills.
That, and you're also in a low risk category, right? You're young and otherwise healthy. So you deliver
as
food
far
so
as I
people
know,
who
yeah.
aren't are able to get food.
Exactly. But seriously, like if mark my words, if South Carolina opens up again starting Friday, there's going to be a giant spike of infections followed by a giant spike in deaths 2 to 3 weeks later. It's just going to happen. And that means that then the quarantine will have to last even longer. This is not sane, rational people. It's just not. And other states are apparently opening. Georgia was the one that was big news today. But apparently, Bill tells me South Carolina's opening too.
that's
And
what I was
living
told.
in North Carolina, I'm now terrified of the people south of me more than I already was. I've always been afraid of South Carolina. Let's be real. But
Just be safe. And whatever your options are, choose the safest ones.
yeah, okay. Sorry, I just that was
Hey, no,
that was
man.
welling up, and it was going to come out sooner or later. So
It's all good.
at least we got to reach an audience. Although, as Chad points out, probably anyone listening to this is in full agreement. But
Yeah, that's fair, but this might actually inspire someone who's listening to convince their idiot friend who thinks that they want to go out to actually speak up and say, no, look, that's really, really dumb.
yeah,
I need you to not do that.
Here, we're gonna look up Anti-Mask League 1919.
That sounds like it would be such a comic book thing.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to say, it
it's-
really sounds like a group of Batman villains.
Yeah,
We're
if
just
you
an
Google-
anti-superhero group.
If you Google Anti-Mask League 1919, you'll get a Wikipedia article and the Twitter thread by Tim Mock. That's Tim space MAK is his name. For God's sake, yeah. If anyone is like, I don't see what the big deal is, please poke me. I will send you a link,
Yeah.
and you can then forward it to those people. Just this has happened before. We have hard evidence of it, and yet people are still, I want to go get my hair did. And I hate them all.
We can't see your hair. This is your chance to do something cool with it that no one will ever see. Learn how to cut your own hair and then buy a hat.
Yeah, see, Cluze is wearing a hat.
Yep. Yeah. If I could look, you've brought it up several times. The whole I need to go get my hair did thing. So something that people may not know about me is that one of my favorite things in the world is to get a haircut. I really, really love getting haircuts.
It's why he grows hair.
I feel like the whole world just seems better after I get a haircut. It's just such a wonderful feeling. And yet, here we are in this. And you know what I did? I cut my own hair. You know why? Because I can't go out and get my haircut, and that's just fine. I'll just do it myself. And you know what? I have a terrible haircut right now. How bad? Bad enough that I'm wearing a hat. That's how bad my haircut is. So if you're not If you're not watching the stream, you're missing out. So there you go.
Cluze,
But
what are the chances we could get you to take the head off?
For the stream, here's my haircut. There you go. You like that?
For those of you who are just listening to this
notice
MP3,
how it's so sharp,
Cluze actually has
short.
mushrooms growing out of his skull.
I have completely lost my part because I took it way too in this whole area. I took it way too short, and it's all ragged, and it's bad. It's real bad.
I think it looks fine, Cluze, but
that's okay.
It's
that's
not
fine.
about what I think. It's about what Cluze thinks.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm dissatisfied with it. But you know what? That's fine
You
because
should get your money back.
by cutting my own hair, I have, not endangered anyone. Besides which, it's just hair. It's going to grow back until it doesn't because I'm old, and then that's fine too.
Yeah.
All this is on borrowed time.
Yeah, I'm starting to get the monkey butt right here, on the crown.
I can't actually see.
No, but you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
The crown of my head. I'm starting to get it's thinning there.
Are we talking about male pattern baldness?
I thought male pattern baldness was inching upwards from.
I think it's actually both. I don't know.
I don't actually know either.
Pay attention to that. Again, I have hats. I like hats.
I just don't care. So.
Yeah, that's fair. That's also fair.
So Cluze, what's your
yeah? Hey,
since I sort of jumped in there with an angry rant.
I guess I'll say a couple of things. The first is that if you want to get in touch with me, I am at Cluze, spelled just like it is in the show notes. You can find me there on the Twitters. That's the best place to find me. I do have a thing that I want to talk about real quick. Normally, I'd reserve this kind of thing for the odds and ends because it's kind of a short little story, but it's kind of uplifting. And given some of the terrible stuff, I feel like we need to add an uplifting. Can we put in an uplifting thing? Because let me
interject an uplifting thing. Squee just subbed with
I
Twitch
just realized
for the 20th month.
Not doing an episode last week meant I probably ended a streak.
Yeah, mine's gonna come up. I think between now and the next time we record is mine. But here's a little uplifting story from another hobby of mine. So for those who don't know, I play the ukulele. Big fan of the ukulele. I don't play it well, but I have fun when I do it. So I really enjoy it. And I want to talk for just a moment. And believe it or not, there's a point to this. Just wait for it. I promise there's a point to this. I want to talk for a moment about a company called Ikoria. They're an Italian company that makes strings. This is one of their packets of strings here. Ikoria Nile gut strings are one of the most common strings you'll find on new ukuleles. They're made out of nylon, but they're meant to simulate the sound and feel you got with gut strings, because back in the day they were made of gut, which is kind of creepy now that I think about it, but that's fine. But I want to talk about this company because this company is in Italy. They can't work right now. They're shut down. Like the company cannot make strings because like everything in Italy is just shut down because, everything got completely out of hand over there. However, the guy who runs this company, he goes by the handle of Mimo on several ukulele forums that I frequent. He and a couple of volunteers from his company went back in and started back up the production lines, but they did it because they actually make essentially extruded plastic strings is what they make. And so what they're doing right now is they're using their setup and their tech to extrude monofilament for 3D printers. And that monofilament is going to volunteer organizations that are building fittings to go from face masks to ventilators for hospitals in Italy. And they're doing it completely free, completely on their own, just to try and help out. And I thought that was really neat.
That's excellent.
There you go. An uplifting story from a ukulele string maker in Italy.
Nice.
And that's all I have. So over to you, Chewie.
God, do I have to keep talking? Jeez, I've been so condescending and angry on this
just
episode.
Manipool at Manipool.
Yeah, Manipool at all the places, all the things. It's the Manipool.
Yeah, but
I'm a lifeguard for Manipool.
Yeah.
Also, over on the YouTube channel, what's going on right now is, today was the nerf report for Hearthstone because Demon Hunter Nerfs Part 2 happened. They went public already. I logged in today and I got the little pop-ups like, these cards changed. And I went, holy crap. So yeah, Mike and I went into great detail about those nerfs and lots of Hearthstone nerf-related stuff. Philosophy sort of like because it's a digital card game, they can just tweak some numbers so they could release, sort of like in Overwatch when they release a new hero, the new hero is always overpowered so that it's fun to play for a little while. And then they tamp down some numbers and make some nerfs, and then things are fine. They did that with the new class in Hearthstone, which again is like adding purple to Magic, sort of. But adding a 10th class is almost as complex as adding a 6th color to Magic. And so they released it just a hair overpowered so that it would be, fun and interesting and engaging. But now it's too powerful, so they're tweaking some things. And this is the second round of nerfs already. So yeah, that video went up today. And what else is going up? I guess Halo Wars and Maze are still ongoing running series that are going up over the next few days. There's probably going to be some Hearthstone in there too, Hearthstone games. Yeah. And Monday Night Magic, yay! This week on the Mana Pool, we're going to be covering the rest of the Ikoria stuff that we haven't yet, including all the weird Sharknado nonsense. Because last week we talked about, like, the big cycles, the companions, and the triomes, and the ultimatums, and all the mythics, and then we sort of ran out of time. So we're going to be looking at the rest of the set after that, just because there's weird stuff in the set, right? Like, it's just weird.
Checks out.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's that. Over on Twitch, honestly, I don't know what's going on Twitch. I currently have so many things on my hard drive that need to be turned into videos that I'm afraid to play more stuff that I need to record for fear of running out of hard drive space. So, like, this weekend, I played a lot of Skyrim. I did 2, 6-hour streams of Skyrim because I just really wanted to walk around and do things. So I'm rocket-powered because I have rocket-powered boots that are super safe from a mod. They're totally perfectly... Cluze, you showed up, and so they're totally safe, right?
I did. The rocket boots are kind of great. You should just use those all the time.
But they're totally safe, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like in real life.
I mean, there might be a warning in the user manual, but it's fine.
Who reads that?
I don't know about the real life part. That's on Bill. Lawyers, that's on Squee. So yeah.
Yes, it is on the legal entity of Squee Goblin Nabob.
Exactly.
I swear, Your Honor, Squee Goblin Nabob told me it was a good idea to wear rocket boots. How could this have happened?
But yeah, I'm in Skyrim. I'm currently a rocket powered boot wearing werewolf kitty thief man.
Oh, dude, it's like anime.
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, the only qualifier I needed.
And so yeah, that's been fun. But yeah, I stream all the time here on Twitch. There's a YouTube video that goes up every day on YouTube. And of course, Manipool Productions on the whole is a Patreon supported endeavor. You can get a variety of stuff, not physical stuff. You can get early access, you can get the odds and ends, you can get the sponsorship shout out. So hey, let's do the sponsorship shout out and thank Jason Doan, Kim Maho, Andrew Hunt, Al, Lance Delicious, Team You Hellas, How Are You, Connor Kennedy, John Morris, Alex Gonzalez, Scuzzo, Jeff Spencer, Stuart Slaw, PJ McMullen, Casey, Danny Liao, Cody Buckowing. Wait, I lost. Hang on, it scrolled. Jake Jansen's, Jason Kaus, John Parker, Aleph Cat, Beardy Man, Bartle. I was hoping. Oh God. Okay. I was trying to get the sneeze out and it didn't, or get out before the sneeze happened, and then the sneeze didn't happen. It just sort of threatened. Where was I? Backwards Logic, ALK Alters, and the Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine. Whew. Oh God.
You gotta practice.
Just a little bit. So yeah, thank all of you lifeguards at every tier for your support, because it allows me to keep doing what I'm doing, bringing you all this insane amount of free content, and yeah, I appreciate it very much. And with that, yeah, we're gonna be done with Monday Night Magic number 688. For God's sake, don't go out unless you have to, and if you have to, please be safe. Please. Please. Because if there's another spike, then we're going to have to keep the quarantine thing going even longer. And there's going to be another spike. So we're going to have to keep it going even longer. So just resign yourself to that. They done messed it up.
Do not be part of the problem.
Do what?
Do not be part of the problem.
Do not be part of the problem. There's other people that have messed it up for everybody. So, yeah, with that, we're done. So, thank you all so very much for joining us. And go play some companions.